Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Gears of War 4 on the PC on Inconceivable difficulty. This is my guide and walkthrough. We're currently on Act 2-2. It is entitled Geared Up. So I'm hoping, I truly am hoping that you guys are all geared up. You all geared up? Good. We are going to be chainsawing a few fuckers at first, and then we're going to be fighting a Kestrel. So, in a moment, you're going to get a cutscene which I've trimmed out. Now, that position that I was at a moment ago against the wall was the location that, and is the location that the game starts you right after the cutscene. So, what you want to do is make sure that once the cutscene ends, you quickly get back to cover because you're not vulnerable the moment the cutscene ends, but when you're getting to cover, the Kestrel is going to be shooting at you. So what you want to do, I would highly recommend that you don't sprint back immediately to the Armoury because I tried to do that once and I got put down. So what you need to do is you need to go from desk to desk and then go to the Armoury, if in fact that's where you want to make your stand. Now once you do enough damage to the Kestrel, you're going to be spawning a few of the DBs. I suppose you could do a little grenade tagging if you wanted to, in anticipation of where they spawn. It isn't hard to kill the first guy because he's really close to you. But these two guys, they dig themselves in down the hall, so you can use the long shot if you want to. And I should note that I did trim out. Well, I didn't trim out anything at the beginning. They start you out in the Armoury, Marcus's Armoury, and they basically allow you, enough time. I mean, you get all the time you want to equip whatever you want in the Armoury and to outfit your teammates with whatever. With whatever weapons that you want to give them. Personally, I don't give a shit what my teammates have. They can have jack shit for all I care. I mean, they could be hauling pieces of dog shit on their backs, and I wouldn't give two thoughts about it, honestly. Finally, I hit somebody. I was trying to hit somebody for quite a while. I wasn't able to do so. So like I said, I don't care what my teammates have. I only care what I have at this point. So what I do the moment that the chapter starts is I just go after those first shepherds and I start my chainsaw up. Okay. Now you see the Y button prompt. That's a point of interest, and I stuck my neck out for a moment just to show you that at the bottom of the chopper, you'll see that it has its little missile compartment that comes out. And it comes out at the beginning of the fight, and the moment that you see that, jump away because there's a lot of splash that can instantly kill you. See that right there? I wasn't even that close to it, and it gave me pretty severe damage. Now the thing about this is that sometimes the character that you're playing will give out the warning that the missiles are coming. Sometimes your teammates will tell you that the missiles are coming. But the times that you're in the most peril are the times when you can't see what the chopper is doing and nobody gives out any verbal warning about the chopper. I can't remember if I've got the characters' voices off because I got really annoyed. I think I do have them on. When I play back the video, I will be able to hear them. But like I said, if you can't see what the chopper is doing and your teammates don't give you any verbal indication that the chopper is going to be firing those rockets, then what you could end up doing is using this third-person cover trick, coming out, exposing yourself, and getting killed because nobody gave out a warning. So that's just what happens. And once it moves its position, then you can come out of the Armoury. You're basically safest in the Armoury, and the areas that you want to be hitting. Do you see the two circular areas on either side of the chopper? those yellow glowing circles, well, those represent the Kestrel's engines, and those are what you're supposed to be shooting. So in this armory, you'll find most every weapon except enemy weapons. So you're not going to find M-bars or any shock enforcers or anything like that. There is a pair of long shots over here. So if you want to give your... I just don't like going through the hassle of outfitting my teammates with different weapons. I just don't see the point of doing it. I mean, if I give them a Marxa, how is that going to help me out? I mean, is it? I can just, if there were some power weapons in here, yeah, I would give them. If there was a boom shot, or, we haven't got the torque bow yet, of course. It doesn't premiere yet, but I wouldn't go through the hassle, honestly. Now you get a checkpoint, by the way, and there's a heavy down here. Now, these heavies can't be chainsawed, and there's also going to be some shock trackers over here. The ones that we saw earlier were just trackers. These ones are shock trackers. Basically the same enemy. They've just got a shot. Oh, okay. See this guy? He's down. He's down for the count. I think I threw a couple of incendiary grenades. Now, I've always been curious why you can only hold two incendiary grenades. I think the obvious reason is that they're overpowered, and the game makers think that having 4 would give you an advantage that perhaps you shouldn't have. But I honestly don't. I don't find them that powerful, quite honestly. But now you get another checkpoint. There's 3 enemies in this room. They're hard to see because of the fire down here that's burning, and they kind of blend in with the fire. These guys do rush you at times too. In fact, you'll probably see them rush you. So I'm spotting these guys because it makes you be able to see where their location is. And I do have to retract something a little bit, because I've been mentioning that it's been my belief that enemies have about the same amount of HP. And if my voice sounds a little different, guys, I just got back from a deep cleaning at the dentist. There's actually, I thought it was something that just it can be handled with one appointment, but apparently there's actually 4 sessions. So I just did session 1 of 4 for my deep cleaning. So I have my upper right side of my mouth is numb, but I wanted to come on and do my commentaries because they're important to me, and I want to get them done, and I want to get them out to folks. So I do want to retract something, because it does. It at once seems as though enemies don't have less health, and sometimes it does seem like they have less health. So there's a lot of ambiguity in my mind about the whole enemies having less health. I'm disposed to believe Microsoft on their official forum page on their Rise of the Horde update details, when they went through all the add-ons that they put for this game, and their Rise of the Horde update. This guy over here can be chainsawed, but if you frag tag him, you'll live more often than. I mean, I lived 100% of the time. I would try to chainsaw him, but it takes a long time to do that. Okay, so this fight over here, what's going to happen is, well, hopefully what happens is that you take care of the guys with the M-bars as fast as you can, so that when you pick up their dropped weapons, you have as most M-bars as you possibly can. You can also duck and cover over here. There we go. Don't sleep on that Lancer, boy. Just don't. Okay, so you guys, like I said, I'm disposed to believe that Microsoft was. I mean, if they say enemies have less health, that doesn't mean all enemies have less health, right? So maybe certain enemies do have less health. It just seems to me that like these guys, these shepherds, sometimes I hit them with a lot of active reloads, with, like, for instance, the Retro Lancer, and it still takes a long time to kill them. Sometimes I do pretty good headshots and things like that. I take them down quickly. I'm just confused. I'm conflicted about the whole thing. But anyhow, over here, what you want to do is do not fire at the heavy right now. Just don't fuck with the heavy. See the heavy down there? After you kill all those shepherds that you did kill, now there's going to be a guardian, which is that flying thing, and then there's the heavy. So just don't hit the heavy. Don't draw his attention. And if you don't, or excuse me, if you do that and just leave him alone, he'll go after your teammates, and your teammates will pretty much kill him for you. And then you can just hide behind this tree and deal with the guardian. Now, occasionally you will have shock trackers coming up to you. So if they're coming after you, just bat them away and then finish them off. And then just continue killing the guardian. See, like the shield of this guy and this guy's damage, it feels like it was on Insane. And I know I haven't played Insane for about a year, but it still feels like enemies are tanky at some points. And yet at certain other points, it feels like enemies aren't tanky. So I'm conflicted about the whole enemies having less health. But I do know that you get put down faster, and that's why I'm playing this game. And also, the descriptor for this difficulty pretty much says every bullet counts, or make every bullet count. Well, that's not true. You know, that's making see how your teammates almost see what they did. The teammates took out the heavy. They will take out the heavy. See, the heavy will only wind his horn to. What is a new person coming to my channel going to think when they hear me say win their fucking horn, dude? Queers of fucking war, dude. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the heavy's only going to come towards you winding his horn if he puts down all of your teammates. So I have been rushed by the heavy. He's come after me. You know how I was hiding behind the tree? Oh, check this out, too. If you drag these guys over cover and you go behind them, he does a different animation where he kicks their leg out from behind them and he stabs them in the back like that. And there's also a different animation if you stab them in the side too. So it's pretty cool. I didn't know there was more than one animation for the kills there. It's pretty cool. Now, you know how in the last fight I was hiding behind that tree? Okay, the heavy will come after you under two circumstances. If you draw his attention when he first spawns, and when you can actually see him when you're behind the tree, he's likely to come after you. Secondly, if he puts down all three members of your team, he's going to come winding his horn and he's going to come winding his horn towards you and marching his way over to you, drum in hand or horn in hand, however you want to think about it. Now, in this greenhouse, this is kind of a difficult fight because it's one of the first areas in this game where you can't employ the third-person cover trick. I don't believe there are any positions in this whole room where you can hide behind cover and keep your character profile out of the line of fire while the gun reticle is out in the open, winding its own horn, if you will. So you've got shepherds, and then when you kill, I think all but one, or go down too much down the path, you'll spawn the two heavies, and that's when it gets difficult because two heavies and one and anybody outstanding can be difficult. Now, how do you handle it? Well, you can try frag tagging if you like. I think the best course of action would be to take care of anybody that you possibly can as far as getting that last guy killed, perhaps. You know how these guys spawn when there's one guy left? Well, maybe try to kill that last guy. And in the moment these guys spawn, throw all of your grenades. And try to be a little bit more accurate than I was, because I wasn't too accurate. See this? I could have got killed over here. This fight took a long time. I don't like this fight. I'm getting flanked a little bit by this guy too. Yep, don't like getting flanked. However, I believe we only have that last enemy left, like I mentioned, so thanks, Marcus. That's a good boy. Thanks for taking care of it, Papa. Thanks for taking care of it, Papa John. Anyway, don't be hesitant to use the frag grenades in that fight, guys, because as you can see here, there's a pair of them on either side of the room. So, do you know how this fight here, like I said, had... it didn't have the advantage for us to use the third-person cover trick? Well, the nice thing is that the next fight, you can completely manipulate the entire fight by using the third-person cover trick. There's a position in this room where you're completely safe and enemies will seldom rush you. And if they do, all you need to do is rev up your chainsaw. Hopefully you don't get staggered. But it's very, very safe. And like I said, I'm just a little bit conflicted because it does seem at times like enemies have less health. I've read on forums that people were saying, you know, like this is the way that Gears of War should be, without enemies being tanky and with having about the amount of health they have on Inconceivable difficulty, and with you getting put down at about this rate. But I'm just, like I said, I'm conflicted. But anyway, I'm gonna try to spawn kill hopefully anybody if I can. Didn't look like it turned out too well. There's a pair of guardians in this room, and then there's just the regular amount of... See, these guys are going down pretty quick. You know, with headshots. I mean, I have to concede about that because it does look like enemies do have a little bit less of health, but sometimes it doesn't seem that way. I mean, I'm hitting enemies with Retro Lancer active reloads. We all know that the Retro Lancer is more powerful than the Lancer. It just is. It's got a lot more recoil, and it's got less of a clip, and it's designed that way to be a substitute for the Lancer. It's supposed to be a novelty weapon, I think. Yeah, I just, like I said, I'm conflicted, and I probably will be conflicted the entire time, and maybe it's just certain enemies do go down a little bit quicker. I don't know, but sometimes I tell you, it just seems like enemies are as tanky as they are on the normal campaign. But yeah, anyway, guys, this spot over here is absolutely beautiful. You might see me get rushed, I'm not sure, but like I said, if anyone gets in your face, just rev up that chainsaw and see what you can do for yourself. And then after this fight, we've got one long concluding fight. I wouldn't say it's difficult at all, but I do like when a fight is you know, I like how, like, the final fight of a chapter, I like if it's rather longish. But this one is not too particularly difficult. You are going to be running into some trackers at first, if I'm not mistaken. I do need to make a correction because, do you remember the first appearance of the tracker? I think it was, I'm not sure exactly what chapter on Act 1 it was on, but I think when they appeared, one of the characters announced them as trackers. Well, according to the bestiary that I found on this game's Wikia page, they're actually called shock track. I mean, excuse me, they're just, yeah, shock trackers. The ones that have that little electric field around them, and the ones that drop shock grenades and possibly frag grenades. I'm not sure of if they drop frags, but here's the beginning of the next fight. If you come up here, you're very unlikely to encounter the I believe they're just trackers. So the darker ones, those ones are just trackers. The ones that we met originally, those are, according to the game's bestiary, those are actually shock trackers. So if ever at any point calling them by the wrong name, I apologize. So what I'm gonna do now is kind of just hang back here and pick off people, get some headshots from myself, and these guys, if you think you have their number, they potentially have your number too. I'm talking about the Deadeyes, the guys with the M-bars. They're called Deadeyes. Down here we've just got standard shepherds. I don't think we've got any DR1s, but your teammates are going to be killing the trackers for you. And oh, you know this? See over here what I was doing? My game was broken over here for some reason. I couldn't roll. You know how you roll by double tapping A? The game was not allowing me to roll. So you've got to love the Windows 10 version. The game keeps doing the crash to desktop issue on me too. So what I have to do is I have to when that happens, what I have to do is I have to uninstall the free game that I downloaded from the Windows Store. It's called Sonic Dash. I could have picked any game. I could have even started downloading Cuphead. I own that, but I don't want to have a big file on my computer when I don't have to. So what I do is I uninstall Sonic Dash, and then I go into the Windows Store, and then I start to download Sonic Dash again. And it could be any game. It could be Candy Crush, any free game. So I start to download the title that I just told you guys, Sonic Dash, and then I have no problems launching the game. So it's really not that much of an inconvenience. It only takes a second, but every time it crashes the desktop, I laugh and I say, "Yep, here we go again. Goddamn game won't open." So I don't know. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. All I want to do is play the game. You know, if it was some involved long process, then I would care. But like I can do what I just told you guys in 30 seconds. You know, I know, of course, it's unacceptable. But what can I do? I just want to play this game. But anyway, as you make your way up here, you're going to be accosted by a few more standard shepherds, the ones that carry the shock enforcer, and then a few more Deadeyes. Right there, see that? That guy's a Deadeye, according to the game's bestiary. But I don't think this game has a bestiary, so that's kind of strange. And also, there seems to be no way to access the game's achievements through the actual game. I remember on the other Gears, I believe there was a way to check the achievements quite easily, maybe even in game. Maybe you had to pull up the Xbox Dash, but for some reason. I'm hard pressed. I don't think you can directly find the achievements in the game. So the place that I found them was in the Xbox app, and then once you open that app on the Windows 10 platform, you go to the game, and then you go to the achievements. And there is actually an achievement for clearing Inconceivable. I'm not sure what it's called, but when I do clear it, I will show you guys. I will take you over to that app, and I'll show you where it is. So, you guys, that is all we have for now. The next chapter is a little bit of a longer chapter 2. And I want to thank you guys very much for watching. Thanks for humoring me. Sorry about the Novocaine madness earlier. But you guys take care of yourselves if you wouldn't mind, please. And I'll try to do the same. Okay, guys? Take care.